Hi, Zach. This is the opening bit today. Is the year
This is the
album is
opening
coming
bit.
out, but I wrote it like this, and that apparently is
Yeah,
incorrect.
it's the boyfriend,
Yeah, it's
the boyfriend from
the
Beyond.
boyfriend from Beyond.
Now you're putting in quotation marks, which is also wrong but very funny.
Is
Uh,
it's the boyfriend? It's the boyfriend from
the
Beyond, Zach. It's the
I don't know if
boyfriend from
the
Beyond.
I don't know if the font is going to be bold or italicized because I'm leaving that with Sarah, who did the art for Rinkaria and was also the voice of Rinkaria, is doing the album art again for this one. So I said Alberta's font, but make it look like however you need to fit for the vibe of the album. Albertus is of course the famous John Carpenter font. There's a lot of songs that like combine spooky with sexy, and always they decide on sexy. They do not commit to the spooky half of it. So I made an album. You're writing it in SpongeBob type. Uh, the SpongeBob meme thing.
I'm
I made
committed
an
to this
album
bit.
that uh explores that commits on spooky a little bit. And I had a lot of fun with it. It became kind of its own monster instead of being like spooky, sexy like 2000s pop music. It's 2000s pop music with an ungodly amount of theremin and organs and references to horror films and lines cribbed from Lovecraft and Poe and the like. Uh, and I had a lot of fun painting a narrative with it. I'm sure we're going to edit something in at the beginning with a sample of the music and.
Okay, Zach. I am very excited about it. And I will probably I'll put some bumper at the beginning. It'll be cool. In the meantime, these couple of weeks we have dedicated to trying to chew through some of the backlog in our theory email, which you can find in the description as well. If you send theories to that email, sometimes we will talk about them on air. Not always, because there's a lot of them now. But sometimes. And this is one of those. Zach, what do we have?
We have a theory from Bray, is how they put it in the email. Quote, she remembered that she hated him. You scared me. You're one of them now. I should have let you burn.
You scared me. You're one of them now. I should have let you burn.
What are you doing here? Go away or I yell for Weiss.
Go away or I'll yell for Weiss. W-H-I-S? Weiss?
The Weese.
Of course it is.
It rhymes with geese. Weiss. It rhymes with geese. I've still got more.
Sure.
A man pays his debts. A man owes 3. Underneath that, 3. And then underneath that, this is the part that's in bold. The red god has his due, sweet girl, and only death may pay for life. This girl took 3 that were his. This girl must give 3 in their places. Speak the names,
Zach.
and a man will do the rest.
Zach. Only death
I was
may pay
so
for
good.
life.
Only death may pay for life. This girl took 3 that were his. This girl must give 3 in their places.
Must give 3 in their places. We need to write up like a style guide document on theory submissions.
Yeah. Speak the names and a man will do the rest.
We're still going?
That's it. That's the last line.
And a man will do the rest.
Yeah, I probably should have just been the end there, but I think the context is important.
Okay. So this is Arya talking to Jekken in Harrenhal.
Jekken Hagar, yeah.
Yeah. Arya I should have yes. This is before this is the moment that she learns about these like interesting deals that the Faceless Man which are very interesting to me because they're sort of unprecedented in the series. They don't show up in a lot of other places, which is weird. That like you saved me, so I need to go kill someone because I was supposed to die. But I don't know. Does everyone who like is it Final Destination rules? What is this, Zach?
Yeah. I think the fact that there's rules about death is definitely like a good thing to drive at with this theory.
Okay. Fine then, Zach. I'll do the Final Destination bit. Uh, Fine. What if you don't want to? I'll do it. Like, does someone someone deciding not to get on a ship that is destined to crash? Do the Faceless Men like need to come after that guy?
Um, sorry, sorry.
Damn. Okay.
I'm
Fine.
parsing
All
this. I'm
right.
painting this
No,
out.
it's a
I'm painting this out in
serious
my brain.
recording, Zach. We're not doing anything. No jokes today at all.
No, I'm sorry. I'm parsing that. That's funny.
Oh my god. If you want to hear Zach and me have an argument, go check on the Patreon. I thought we had worked it out, but I guess Zach's still mad at me.
No, it was not an argument. It was a very healthy debate. Thank you.
Wow, I see how it is. All right, Zach, would it do me well to talk about other things that happen at Heron Hall? Oh god. Okay, ready? And we're back.
We're back. Hi, everyone.
We're back.
And we're back.
She remembered that she hated him, Zach. You scared me.
Yes.
You're one of them now. I should have let you burn. What are you doing here? Go away or I'll yell for Whis. A man pays his debts. A man owes 3. The red god has his due, sweet girl. And the only death may pay for life. The girl took 3 that were his. This girl must give 3 in their places. Speak the names, and a man will do the rest. Should I go on the Final Destination bit, or do we think that one's dead?
I think the Final Destination bit is dead. It's
Okay.
the end of the Final Destination movie, and death caught up with it.
Okay, great, perfect. Zach, I love this chapter. The chapters in Heron Hall are famously scary.
I've called Clash. I just like earlier this year, late last year, finished my reread of Clash. It's the Arya and Tyrion books. They carry it with like some of the best chapters of the series, and then everybody else has pretty good chapters. I'm in Storm right now, and it's amazing how like it shifts to like no, Sam is carrying the book right now, but this is like this whole part of Arya's journey here is like incredible. It is one of the best parts of her story in general. So much terrible shit is happening to her. Uh Things are like actually like scary, like there's ghost like stuff happening. There's Harrod Hall being like generally spooky. There's a faceless man, which is this is the reveal. We like the faceless men have been alluded to before, but this is the like confirmation that they're a real thing.
Yeah, yeah. It is at the end of this book that we as an audience internalize that they are a real thing.
Yes,
Which is very cool and very interesting. Man, I love this book. I love this series, dude. Okay.
this led to me. I want to go on one little thought like thing here. Like, imagine if it was never explicitly confirmed that the faceless men are real. How much we'd be debating how they work in the fandom.
Is there an allegory to that? I guess like. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like the Green Men.
Yeah, the Green Man is the Squishers. Yeah, stuff like that. The part in the bottom is bolded for a reason. That is the crucial like aspect that Bray is driving towards here.
Only death may pay for life. All right, this is a blood
Before
sacrifice
that,
theory, Zach.
Yes, it is. And before that, what does he say?
The red god has his due.
The red god.
Yes. Oh, the red god, not the many-faced god.
Yeah, I should have let you burn. The red god has his due.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right. Let me see if I can let me see if I can like tease out where this is going to be going. Uh would the death rituals of the stallion who mounts the world, would those be relevant?
Yes and no.
Okay. All right. Are the burial rites of the Valerians relevant? Because they sacrifice to the Merling King, I think, when they throw the people's bodies into the water. They have
Not
burials at sea.
not technically what we're driving at here.
Okay, would the burial rites of the Targaryens be relevant?
Kind of, yeah. With
Okay.
the burning,
Yeah.
that would definitely track with where this theory is going.
Man, there's just some very cool like hardcore lore in this franchise. I know this is not news, uh, but just the little pieces that like give hints to other um mythologies within the story are very, very cool.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of my favorite aspects is that they're like they tease the world that like has been there for a lot longer. It never feels empty. One of the worst things your like completely different fantasy world can feel like is not fleshed out. And
Yes.
George fleshes things out so much. It's really nice. Every time you see a little shot of like another like city or like culture, you realize there's a hundred more stories you'll never get to hear.
Uh interesting. An interesting discussion could be had about what happens to a story when it becomes empty like that. Is like it's boring and uninteresting unless it's dystopian, at which point it like wraps back around.
Yes.
uh so I should have let you burn. Interesting. I should have let you burn. Is there a ding to be gained from um the from egg roast and all those people at
Not necessarily, but I don't think that gets a mention. You're on the right track with like fire and death are a big portion of this theory, as they often are.
all right. This is not the first fiery death at Harrenhal referenced.
True. Let me poke you in a different direction.
Okay.
Uh, talk to me about some people who are associated with Verlor.
The red priests and especially Melisandre. Oh, is this a
Yeah,
Mokoro
tell me
theory?
about what was that?
Is this a Mokoro theory?
Makoro gets mentioned
Let's go.
very briefly at the end, but
Okay.
Mel, we have some lines from Mel here that might help you.
Okay. Uh, let's see. Um, uh, uh, Mel lines related to human sacrifice. Mel burns a bunch of people over the course
Yes, she
of the
does.
franchise. She kills that Florent, I remember. Um, she orders the death of Rattleshirt.
That's the later Mel. We the second line we have here is from a later Mel. Uh, it's from actually the most recent book we have, A Dance of Dragons. Mel gets her own chapter. What does she sort of ruminate on there?
Uh, she ponders her own powers and mortality relative to R'hllor. We learn that she is like kind of a grifter, that she enhances most of the spells that she does with like potions and like powders and such. The only real power that she has is future sight and glamours. She can glamour. Uh um the
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Um
Talk to me more about. She compares her power to her lore. Who else does she contrast it with?
with Stannis, with the Night King, with Jon, with
That's yes.
yeah.
That's good enough. Ding. Uh, his visage would be more frightening than that. Cold and black, and too terrible for any man to gaze upon and live.
For any
The
man
wooden
to gaze upon and live.
the wooden man she had glimpsed though, and the boy with the wolf's face. Dot dot dot. They were his servants, surely. Dot dot dot. His champions, as Stannis was hers.
As Stannis was hers. Fascinating. I love this chapter. Thoughts of Melisandre. All right, so what am I trying to pull out of this sack? She is clearly referencing um uh 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 the Old Man in the Tree by Melville.
Yes. The old man in the tree. My favorite. That's Hemingway, I thought.
I'm
Although
sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
Melville's Moby Dick.
Yeah, oh damn! Oh, you jumped right on that. I was gonna go with Moby Rickon.
Moby, but I was gonna say Moby Dick on, and I'm like, that doesn't track.
I
And it
would have
turns
been
out
there
it
with
does.
you. uh, oh no, wait. Oh, Zach, no, this is Dances with Wolves. This is Stannis's with Wolves. Stannis's with Wolves. Yeah, Zach, we found the funny. We found the
We
funny.
did.
We've been
We
trying to
made it
find the
work.
funny for 20 minutes.
We finally did. We finally found it.
Okay. Um. Uh. Uh. So this is clearly referencing Brendan and Bran. And okay. So do you have anything from just prior to this? His visage will be more frightening than that. His visage is the great other in this case, I assume.
Yes, the great
Interesting.
other versus her and Verlor.
Okay, but here's the problem, right? Here's always the problem that this down here, right? The reference to the red god seems to be implying that the red god is one of the aspects of the many-faced god.
Yeah, you're really pulling directly where this theory is going.
And the Melisandre, I think at some points is like the great other whose name is Death or something like that.
Yes.
The great other who means like death and death, the death of all good things or something like that. Am I remembering this correctly?
Yeah, there is the god of light and the god of death is the whole like thing of Relore.
Hmm.
But here we have Jack and Hagar, who's a follower of the many-faced god, who believes there's one god with many faces, seemingly inferring that the red god like wants people to burn. Like that is something he has accepted as part of his religion as well.
Hmm. I have something that might get a ding, Zach.
What's that?
One of my favorite characters, Septon Maribald. Is there any Maribald on your list?
No.
All right. What do you think of me tossing into the ring Septon Maribald's speech to Podrick that, as far as he is concerned, all of the seven are the same deity, but all of the seven each also have their own aspects. So he said, like, to some, the smith is the smith, but to me, he's the cobbler. And to others, he might be the miner, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't go with that direction. I think the only gods you need are all on screen right now.
All the gods you need. All the gods you need. Okay. So this is suggesting that Brynden and Bran are the great others champions. But I think that another implication of these two things on the page at the same time are that the great other and R'hllor are different aspects of the same deity.
Okay, you cracked the whole theory wide open.
Let's go! Let's go!
I have a few more hints here, but yeah, the Faceless Men being right and R'hllor and the Great Other being the same thing is the theory.
Okay.
I wanna take the like super highlighted quote from, this is also from Davos, A Clash of Kings. I guess The Clash of Kings is also a really good Davos book.
Mm-hmm. Every Davos book is a good Davos book.
Here's the quote. That's true also. Shadow, Davos felt his flesh prickling. A shadow is a thing of darkness. You are more
I know this quote.
and you are more ignorant than a child, Sir Knight. There are no shadows in the dark. Shadows are the servants of light, the children of fire. The brightest flames cast the darkest shadows.
Shadows are the servants of the light. The brightest flames cast the darkest shadows. Okay. Man, okay, can we talk about how Melisandre is such an asshole?
Yeah.
That's such a dick thing to say.
Yeah, Mel kind of sucks.
Yeah, she kind of does. Again, this is not news, but she kind of does. And also, like, when viewed in this way, does this seem like copium to you?
No, actually, they serve us.
Right? Does this seem? You know what I mean?
First of all, Davos, how dare you?
You know, this is like someone like this is like someone using oh gosh, I can't think of a good comparison that's also like something I can say on air. Uh this is like a hardcore like Bible thumping Southern Baptist summoning a demon to enforce Christianity.
Yes.
Yeah, be like, no, as you can see, this demon is doing the Lord's work. And like we pan up and we see them like eating a bunch of atheists.
Yeah, demons are in the Bible, so really this is pretty Christian.
I like this bit.
The
Okay.
devil, I'm sorry, the devil appears in the Old Testament, and Technically, if you go on the weird part where they're on an acid trip again in the first test or the next testament, the sequel
The
testament,
Next Testament.
the next testament, yes.
The Next Testament is really funny to me. Uh, yeah. So like, and like the others are called White Shadows all the time.
Yeah, yes, they are. Which is evoking the shadow imagery.
Yeah. Uh, I think this is a very cool perspective, Zach. I
Yeah,
don't know how much I buy it. Let's
there's
think
there's
for a
more
second.
quotes here if we want to like pull through it. I think like they definitely hit it a little bit. There's some things in here that I think really like add on some like food for thought. I'm gonna feed you another one actually.
No, let me see if I can like
Where
play in the space because I'm sure that I can think of some to reinforce this
okay,
position. I think this is a really
yeah,
cool this is a really cool idea that I can't remember. I'm sure I've heard before, but I can't remember where. I think it's very 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 cool. Um so like uh uh I I love the idea that all of the deities in A Song of Ice and Fire are like different interesting aspects of the same deity or couple of deities. Uh
yes,
so like the great other up uh, uh appears to be the storm god, and the drowned god appears to be an aspect of the great other as well. Melisandre says that the drowned god is a thrall of the great other. Um, but I'm not inclined to trust Melisandre on matters of theology. Uh, so, but that like over on the other end, the red god and the many faced god seem to be the same deity, but the many faced god longs for death, right? That's his whole thing, and
yeah.
that is the great other's whole thing. So like we can draw that chain in reverse. If the red god is the many faced god, and the many faced god is the great other, and the great other is the storm god, and the great other is the drowned god, then like where do we break the chain? Like what deities are not in this connection?
And there's one last implication here that if they are the same god, like the faceless men have the right of it, then uh, as listed here by Bray, that does make Mel the servant of a god of death, which like we then have to frame all of her actions and decisions through.
Which is interesting because that doesn't seem it certainly doesn't seem like she knows that. It certainly doesn't seem like she thinks that. She thinks
No,
that
she
she's a
she
servant
thinks
of the
she's
living.
fighting the god of death.
Yeah. Huh. 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 She I'll give the tiniest little hint. The opening quote to our next theory will be Melisandre seeing those skulls around Patchface.
Oh yeah,
How does that factor in, perhaps? We assume that Patchface is an avatar of the drowned god. If the drowned god if we can connect the drowned god back through this chain, why does she react so negatively to Patchface?
that's so yeah, that's peculiar.
Isn't that odd? But of course, Melisandre doesn't know, right? She's only
Yeah,
getting right. Like there's this terrible nightmare tapestry laid out on the ceiling behind behind a veil of curtain, she is only getting one ray of light coming through this terrible tapestry. She can only see a little bit of it. Patchface has poked his head through in some other part of the tapestry. And he has seen some other part of this nightmare thing that lives on the ceiling. So, of course, neither of them will necessarily be aware that the other is an aspect of the same deity, has seen this same tapestry. How can we fit the stallion that mounts the world in this? Or is the stallion that mounts the world just fake?
Tough to say. I do want to pull out with so we don't I don't know if we're going to go through every quote here, but this one did stand out to me from that I want to be on the screen.
Sure.
With this gift of innocence and beauty, we honor both the gods, he proclaimed, as the warship of the Iron Fleet rode past the burning ketch.
Oh my god! We honor both the gods. And that is Victarion?
Yes.
Greyjoy. Yeah, that's when he's doing that big nightmare sacrifice. He kills 7 hostages.
Yeah. He then says afterwards, "Let these girls be reborn in light." I don't know if you need to write this down, but I do want to read it out. "Let these girls be reborn in light, undefiled by mortal lust, or let them descend onto the drowned god's watery halls to feast and dance and laugh until the seas dry up."
Huh.
So it's an either or for Victarion. Now, Victarion is probably not the person you go to for theology advice, but it is interesting that he says this.
You ready? I got a hot take. It doesn't seem like he's in a worse position than Melisandre. It doesn't seem like he knows less than Melisandre.
Victarion has only fooled himself. Mel's got to the point where she's fooling other people.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. That chapter is so scary.
It is.
With this sacrifice, we honor both the gods. Huh. Right. He puts them on a ship and sets the ship on fire and then sails away, giving them the choice between burning and drowning. That's so hardcore and fucked up. it's so he we have a lot of people in the fandom who are big fans of Victarion Greyjoy, and I just don't get it, Zach. I just don't get it. This is a call-out post to random internet guy specifically.
You don't like Victarion stance? I love how dumb he is.
It's not that
He's such an idiot.
It's not that I dislike Victarion stance. I just don't get them. I don't understand them. Explain to me, Zach.
The fun of Victarion Greyjoy is that he is aggressively stupid and makes the most of it. His stupidity has Cersei is aggressively dumb and makes bad decisions and ruins her own plans by outsmarting herself. And Victarion is dumb and it works out. So far, at least.
Has it worked?
He could have been better at the political strategy of winning the King's Moot, but magical stuff happened. So he might have won it fair and square if it were not for magic happening.
That's true. He's
otherwise
he's a lot like Asha if Asha never thought.
Yeah. He's like Asha, but dumb. And you know what? Compelling narrative.
You know what? Okay, you got me. Yeah, fine. That's twice in one day you've gotten me, Zach. Yeah, I mean, okay, this is something that's always stuck out to me in this particular scene, that Mokoro doesn't seem to have a problem with this.
Not at all.
He's like,
this is not he does not consider this profaning his religion at all. Yeah. I feel like if you busted into a Catholic church and said, this one's for Jesus and Buddha, they might have a problem with that.
Like Melisandre talks shit at every opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Where John is like Melisandre when you're going up into the hills. They really don't like insults to the old gods. So like when you're talking to like the wolves and the Naris, so I need you to be chill. And she's like, uh, uh, she says something to the effect of, "I do not intend to visit your hill savages and their mountain demons." Uh, which is just such an unnecessary thing to say.
Yes.
Like, why, man? Like, Mokoro doesn't say that. He's chill about it. He's he's so relaxed about the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. He's very chill.
Uh, any other like dual god stuff? Yeah, Danny does some dual god stuff. I think she she does some stuff in the name of the Seven and in the name of the stallion that mounts the world. In, I want to say, the second book in Karth, but I suppose that's not terribly relevant.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think that the go back to Bran and Bloodraven there. She
sure.
sees them as very different.
Bran and Bloodraven are very different. You mean?
Yeah, yeah, the is very different from her and what she is doing.
Oh, I see what you mean. They are his servants, surely his champions. Okay, so this implies that they're on the same team? Question mark?
It implies that they're so. I can give you the whole thing here. The final bit.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Lay it on me.
They're they're like Bloodraven is seemingly immortal, and it seems like Bran is on his way to like some sort of immortality also.
Yeah.
It seems like the god of death is the only god, and that the like old gods are like human and children creation to cheat death, a form of immortality. Especially if you believe the old gods are just like a weirwood network of like Bran and Bloodraven and other dreamers who have found a way to cheat immortality. That means the god of death is trying to kill the immortals because they are cheating its system, and that's why Mel can't like see them as anything other than terrible. She is worshiping a very potent form of the god of death,
Oh my god.
and the god of death wants her to kill the immortals because it's their time to die.
I've been barking up the wrong tree the whole time, as it were.
The wrong weirwood.
I've been working the wrong weirwood. Uh, uh, Interesting. So the god of death. Wait, hang on here. Bloodraven is immortal. He, as far as we know, is the first human to achieve this. There are no other human skeletons in that cave that they see.
No.
There are no other human skeletons.
Is that because he's the first person to discover it, or because the other ones were hunted down?
Hang on, hear me out on this one. I'm theory crafting real fast.
Yeah.
Uh he's the only human skeleton. He's the only dreamer who's been capable of doing it. He's the one who figured it out. R'hllor is a god of death, and the Great Other is a god of death, and they are both fucking coming for Brynden and Bran.
Yeah.
Are the others rising because death has been defeated?
That's possible.
Are they coming to stop Bran from spreading like an immortality cancer?
That and that would explain why the in the Bad Dragon show why it's a final battle between Bran and uh Rhaegar, right?
Yeah.
We're asserting that that's where the Night King is Rhaegar, as Clytus says. Uh,
Wait, I thought that was Arthur Dane and Rhaegar was burned by Melisandre.
that's true. He
Okay.
was Rattleshirt.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, okay. Uh,
um,
you were saying that
yeah,
maybe that's why there's that final battle between those two.
yeah, because he is one of the people who's also going to cheat death. He has learned immortality secrets from Bloodraven.
And that does seem like a bad ending for humanity. Right. Like the ending
Yeah,
of Game of Thrones is played positive, but it really doesn't feel positive, you know?
yeah, and a immortal king with no emotions is now in charge of the entirety of Westeros with nobody to challenge his authority.
Yeah, this is the plot of the best Dune book.
Yes, the one where the skeleton and the worm are enemies. Maybe
Uh
that's the plot of
uh-huh.
maybe that's the plot of A Song of Ice and Fire.
You know what? Okay, I'm like talking myself into it. Maybe it is. Maybe that is where this goes. Maybe I don't know. Is there theming around like mortality and the importance of there is theming around the importance of being able to die because Cat sure doesn't seem happy.
Oh, that's brought up in this. One of the other notes was that it seems your brother, Catelyn Stark, said sometimes she feels like she has a heart of stone. It seems like being immortal is bringing out the worst qualities in her. And of course, one of the it's not in here. One of the things they say is all men must die. It's like a duty.
Oh. All men must die. Dot dot dot. All men must serve. Perhaps those are the same thing.
Yeah, it is your duty to serve the world by not extending your life forever.
Huh. There is also theming in this story around being remembered. And that is often like compared to immortality. I'm not sure how we can tie that in directly, but that's definitely thematically related, Zach.
Yes, for sure. Thematically, being remembered for who you were when you were alive is contrasted with being still alive, but like a fucking zombie many times. In fact, I was just I'm at my reread of Storm, and I just got to when Beric Dondarrion is reintroduced, and we see him as the weird, fucked up, resurrected immortal version of himself.
Yeah.
And Arya is comparing him to how she remembered him, to the man she remembered meeting and liking.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I kind of like this. Brynden and Bran have committed some like eternal sacrilege.
Yeah, a crime against nature, and that's why the magic seems to be like cracking up. Is that not only is there one person out there being immortal, but he's spreading the knowledge to others. He has spread it to Bran, and potentially, if you believe Euron was his previous student, he taught Euron how to be immortal also. Uh,
Or maybe one
and
of the
well,
reasons that Euron is so pissed off is that he told him that you could become immortal, but never taught him how.
yes, we have to contrast this with the people that we know being immortal are resurrected by R'hllor, but it could be the case that the you know god of death, or it could be the case that they are dead in a different way or alive in a different way, because like Bloodraven is definitely like, not 100% the same person now that he's a tree, but he doesn't have that R'hllor zombie sort of like thing going on, right?
Yeah, yeah. So interesting. Um, we have in this story entities that were brought back to life by other entities, including but not limited to Stoneheart, the Ice Whites, Barrick, and the Mountain. All of those have, to some degree, a loss of a sense of self. All of them.
Yeah.
Versus Brynden, whose life is artificially extended by his own hand, who does not seem to experience. Well, I was going to say who does not seem to experience that same loss of sense of self, but he is like, I've had many names. When I was young, they called me Brynden. He has gone through
Yeah.
a lot of identities.
It's not quite the same.
You're right. You're right. There is still an interesting distinction here. This is cool. This is cool, Zach. Who's this by again?
It is. Thank you, Braden.
Thank you, Braden. This is really, really, really cool. What else is in here? Now hang on. Hang on. Daenerys doesn't seem to have experienced this kind of loss of self.
Despite a similar fiery resurrection, yes. And a lot of people say that Dany's a fire white, but
I'm not
she's
sure.
not displaying some of the like characteristics you'd expect.
Yeah, she does not have fire white symptoms.
She went into WebMD and did not say fire white is a
No.
possible diagnosis.
Yeah, it said lupus. That's a joke about House MD for anyone who's watching.
for all the people who are here for the house references,
Yeah.
we got you.
Just remember that House MD always wins.
The house MD always wins. That's inspired.
Now your turn. So your turn, Zach. Make a bad joke.
Dr. House is my favorite path you can take in Fallout New Vegas.
Isn't Doctor House that time traveling BBC show?
Yes. That's Hugh Laurie's British. They don't mention that a lot. You got to start on the time traveling show Doctor House.
Yeah. And the Canadian spin-off, Doctor Who's. Zach, is that the show?
I think so.
All right, I'm sure there's a usable video in here somewhere. I'll find it.
No, I think we got to like the core of the argument. I'm sure that like uh this is on par with what the like we got 6 hints. I think this is pretty good for like what we the theory was sent to us. I'm struggling with my words right now. We did a good job covering all the main points, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's definitely a theory, and I think we got through all of it.
All right. Please do remember to check out Zach's new album. It comes out the 26th. There will be a bumper at the beginning of the video, and you should go and check it out. It's very, very good. Zach, what song am I doing in that bumper?
It's either going to be Whisper in the Darkness, Lose Your Mind, or Possessions. Those are my 3 favorites so far, but it's probably going to be Whisper in the Darkness because that one's really good.
Oh my god, can I get an early cut of Lose Your Mind? I want to hear this.
Yeah, I can get you an early cut of it, 100%. I have the vocals pretty much mostly ready. I want to mix them a little bit better, but yeah, I can get you an early cut of Lose Your Mind.
All right, Zach.
The opener.
We are ready to be done. Please give me a character who is immortal, but we don't know it yet, and you can't say Quaithe.
Davos.
Wait.
That one actually tracks as a theory.
Wait, no, that's actually good. Anyway, goodbye.
But